Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Rakan, product designer working in London. In this video, we're going to talk through Adobe acquiring Figma for a reported $20 billion, and this is really going to start to be the end of Figma as everyone's favorite design tool now that Adobe's acquired it. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe for future design related videos, and let's get started. So Figma was co-founded way back in 2012 by Dylan Field and Evan Wallace, and today it's probably one of the most popular design tools used across the industry. And I think what makes Figma so unique is the fact that when it was co-founded, they really took a unique approach on building the tool and they made it more of a web-based tool. So when you're using Figma on your desktop, you're actually using it inside a web browser, and it makes it scalable cross-platform, unlike other tools that we've seen before, such as Sketch and Adobe products like Photoshop, which aren't actually browser-based compatible. What makes Figma so unique is the fact that it is cross-platform, and you don't just need a Mac to use this, and it's also free to use, so your cross-functional partners can contribute to your Figma designs, like your product managers, your engineers, and your researchers. It's all free to sign up and to create an account, which really helps scale the product, and it really helps people understand what makes a product tick. Unlike previous tools such as Sketch, which you'd need a MacBook to use, or Adobe products, which are just nowhere near as user-friendly to install, and they have expensive licenses. So these are really big factors that help contribute to the success of Figma. The biggest thing for me has been the community though. What really has scaled Figma is that they really understand their users, their products so well, and they interact with them and understand what features and what should really be on a roadmap. So they hold local events across the world. They are really well informed on social media. They run a free global design conference, and they are just so well in tuned with their community of what they want. Then they release features in such a rapid, fast fashion. We have seen features that have really changed the way people have designed, such as auto layout. We've seen things like interactive components. We've seen scalable design systems, things like Figma community. All of these things have attributed to such a great product, but $20 billion is a big amount of money. A lot of designers backed Figma as a product because they just weren't Adobe. Their cultures and their pricing models, the way the product innovates, were just the complete opposite. And this is where things are really going to get interesting going forward. I feel like Figma has really just broken the trust with their community by acquiring this deal and merging together. Trust is one thing that takes a lot of time to build, and it's very easy to lose, and I feel like Adobe have such a poor past track record when it comes to their products and their trust with the design community that a lot of designers are feeling let down right now. So like I mentioned earlier, Figma are notorious for having free accounts, especially for education, and Adobe are the complete contrast. They have a really bad brand reputation when it comes to aggressive pricing models. So they have a subscription model that is insanely expensive, and that they kind of force you into using their products. Previous to this, they would have really expensive purchase prices for their applications as well, and a lot of people couldn't afford these, or they'll just find these serial crack codes to install these copies locally, and there's a lot of memes and jokes around this. So the two pricing models are complete contrast from each other, and Adobe said they'll keep the education pricing free, but we know that it probably won't last, especially because of how much they've acquired this product for. They've got to make the money back somehow, right? Another thing to mention is that my thoughts on this whole Figma acquisition is design tools, they come and go. 5 years ago I was using Figma. Previous to this, other designers were using Photoshop. In the next 5 years it was Figma, but what is the next tool? The reality is, as a designer, the skills that you really need to be focusing is on your hard skills. Design tools, they come and go. Adobe's acquired this one, and it's a massive congratulations to the Figma team on this. But you focus on your hard skills, such as your product thinking skills, your problem solving skills, your visual design skills on how I can execute a product strategy, my other soft skills like my presentation skills to stakeholders, my product vision skills. These are skills that are going to stay with you. Design tools, in 5 years time, I'm very confident that Figma won't probably be the design tool of choice, because there's a new startup that's probably going to come along and probably take the world world by storm again, and it'll probably, people do realize that community is the best way to do this as well. So my thoughts are, we shouldn't get too caught up in the design tools that we use day to day. Like, it's been a treat really using Figma, and hopefully when the next tools come along, they follow this model. And at the end of the day, if I was in Dylan's Field's shoes, I'd 100% be taking that 20 billion as well, because of how insane the money is and how overvalued it is. I don't think they'd consider themselves from 2012 to 2022 in 10 years really having this valuation and being at this stage. So like I said, Dylan Field, he's pretty got other things on top of his mind. Whether or not he stays, I doubt it, but he's now got a lot of money and he's got a lot of fun to probably have, like probably come up with other ideas in the future, and just focus on your other skills as a designer. And design tools, they're quick to learn and you've got a ton of other things to improve on. So is this going to be the end of Figma as a product? So within the next 3 years, we call this the short term? I'd say no, because a lot of the team probably are going to be sticking around to vest their stock units. Like I mentioned, Figma are getting $10 billion worth of stocks from this deal, so a lot of the employees are probably going to stick around. A lot of the top talent is going to stick around to vest this out, and they're still working on some really cool products and features over the next 1 to 2 years that are going to be released prior to this Adobe agreement. But when we talk about the medium to long term, I think this is going to really be the end of the product, because naturally after this vesting period, a lot of the top talent, the guys that came up with the top ideas and that formed this culture and community, they're gonna leave, as well as we're gonna start to see the Adobe culture come in. A traditional tech company really pretty does conflict with Figma's fast innovation culture that is so attached to their community. We won't see this immediately, but I'd say in the next 3 to 5 years we'll start to see a lot of top people leave Figma, and we'll start to see the roadmap really shift more towards Adobe's vision, maybe probably integrating this with their Creative Cloud suite. But I wouldn't blame the employees for leaving after that they've vested this massive stock deal and they've cashed out. They can pretty move to another startup or enjoy their lives and move to something completely different. Founders like Dylan Field, he's only 30 years old, he's probably got a ton of other ideas of what he's probably wants to do with this cash and this period of his life as well. So these are my immediate thoughts on this, but personally I feel like the top talent is going to naturally leave over time and the cultures are going to clash and the innovation won't be as fast. But like I said, products come and go, design tools come and go. It's your hard skills that you need to be focusing on. For example, your product thinking, your product vision skills, these are things that are going to separate you from other designers. Design tools, these are just helping you actually do your day-to-day job. Focus on your hard skills, create those compelling visions, focusing on my visual design skills. But let's see what happens. I'm sure in the next 5 years there'll be another really cool design product that comes along. But I think it's really bittersweet, to be honest. You have to personally be happy for the guys. Just put yourself in their shoes, and really, if 20 billion was offered, you'll be buying their hand off right now. In 10 years, creating a product with this crazy valuation, Dylan Field probably couldn't have dreamt of something better. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. Comment down below your thoughts on Adobe acquiring Figma and how you're feeling about this deal personally. Be sure to subscribe for future design related videos, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace out.